Okay, we're recording. Wonderful. What is today's date, Yuna? So you have 3.4. Today we're going to talk about internet. What is today's date? December 几号? 16. Okay? So it's our last class for this new year. We're going to, basically you need to be able to explain how the internet works, all the hardware and software. Okay? First, what is internet? What is internet? In your own words. Carol, what is internet?
Connection of
Yeah, the internet is a whole bunch of WAN. Do you know what WAN stands for? Do you know what a WAN is? Wide area network. Okay? So the internet is a whole bunch of big networks together. Now, there's two things you need to know. What is the difference between, so the definition is basically, it's interconnected networks. It's many, let me just change it to many networks connected. And the internet is basically the hardware. Hardware. Okay? That means it's, today we're going to talk about routers, modems, and things like that. It's the interface. The interface. Infrastructure, sorry. The infrastructure. Infrastructure. Infrastructure just means the wires, the different hardware. Okay? So this is the key thing. The internet is made from different components. Okay? Now, the question now becomes is, what is the www? Have you heard about www? When you go on the internet, I go www. What is the www there, Carol? This is World Wide Web. And what does www mean? Do you remember, Carol? What is World Wide Web? Yes, the World Wide Web is the software. It's basically the websites. Do you know what a website is, Yuna? Okay, so the internet and World Wide Web are not the same. One is infrastructure, the hardware, and one is the software. Okay, so this is the only thing that you need to write in your notebook. The difference between those. Okay, there is a test question. We did that last week. Okay, the internet. When did the internet start? This is, you don't need to copy this down. This is just information. The internet started basically in 1969. There were only 4 networks. That means, like, you have 4 routes. And then by 1989, there was over 100,000. And so the internet, it is exploding. Okay? Today there's billions of phones in the world today. And now the internet's so big. Okay? So what do we need to know? We need to know all these pieces and what they do. Okay? So let's talk about the hardware. This is the internet. The internet needs about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things. Okay? Let's write down their name and what does he do. Okay? So write in your notebook called internet hardware. Okay? The very first, let's talk about modem. Does anyone know what the modem do? What does the modem do? What is the modem? The modem is allow you connect to internet. Okay? So what the modem does is Your computer, it uses Ardinger. But the Ardinger cannot send very far. And so we need to change it into AC wave. And then it can go very far place. And then it's going to come back into DC. Okay? So what the modem does is it changes the data to a wave to go very far. Okay? So what does modem do? It converts your data, okay, to a wave to send on to send far distances. This can use the phone line, it can use satellite, it can use the line, okay? And the modem, usually who give you the modem is your ISP, okay? So I'm just gonna scroll down to give you a little picture, okay, of what the internet looks like. But we need to know what modem is. Because if you remember, how do you connect to internet? You first have a DNR. It connects to router. From router, it goes modem. Modem changes it into the wave, 对不对? Your ISP is the 公司, like China Mobile. 你需要给他们钱, and then you can go onto the internet. Okay? And so the modem is the end guy right before the internet. Cool? Converts your data to a wave, and it's for that. And the ISP is Internet Service Provider. Okay, so we got that. What is NIC? Do you know what NIC is? Number one. Number two, what is NIC? Number two, NIC stands for, does anyone know? Yeah. The NIC has a 那个头. You see this chattel right here? This wire connects to the TV. The TV has a NIC card. NIC stands for network. Yeah. Network interface card. What does the network interface card do? 它干什么? Yeah, it allows you to 搬那个线. You can have your Ethernet cable. Ethernet port. It's basically a cable that you can connect to a router. Okay? And important in there is called the MAC DJ. Okay? He has the MAC address on the NIC card. So the important thing you have to remember is the NIC card is used to connect to internet, and he has MAC. And I'm going to talk about that later. Okay? NIC card, we're done. Now, I'm going to talk about the router. What does the router do? Do you guys know what router does? I'm going to talk about three. Do you know what router does? What is a router? I have it right here. This is a router. Do you know what a router is? The router allows multiple computers to connect to the internet. You can have Wi-Fi, and you can have Nigatool. Okay? So, this is what the router looks like. Maybe you can also draw. Please draw a little picture so that you know what I'm talking about. He has a little bunny ear, and he has chattel here. So what does the router do? Do you know what router does? What does the router do? You can have 很多的线, right? Those can go to many different computers, 对不对? He also has bunny ears. He also has Wi-Fi. He can also give you the wireless internet. Okay? He also gives you the IPv4. So what does the router do? The router allows many computers, devices. It can be also your shoji, anything. To connect to the network. Devices. V-I-C. To the network. Okay? It's oh, this should be a V. Let me erase, sorry. I put my... Can you see that okay now? Okay. D-E-V-I-C-E-S. So, he has many tato right here, many connecting. He also can give Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. We call this an AP, access point. Okay, so you can connect to Wi-Fi. What does he also do? He also give you the IPv4 address. And there's two types of IP address that we're going to talk. One is called IPv4 and IPv6. And I will talk about this later. Okay? So he's really important. A switch is like a router, but it's based on that. Okay? This is called, what is this called right here? This is a switch. It's used for a computer lab when you have This is called a switch. Usually the switches don't have Wi-Fi, but it's the same thing as a router, but much bigger. Okay? So just put in here, just note that you have a switch. Switch has the chato, right? Switch is the same as a router, but it's bigger. It's bigger. Okay, and it's used for like computer lab. Computer lab. If you have handle DNL, that he can also do the IPv4, all that stuff. Imoya. Okay, so we got switch, router. I'm going to skip about that. Okay, these are the 重要 ones that we need to know. Okay. So as long as you know modem, NIC, switch, router, these are the important ones. So now, when we talk about the internet, how does the internet work? Well, let's write that. How internet works. Here we go. Are you ready? I'm going to draw a little picture how he works. So first what happens is you have a device. Maybe you have a PC or phone. You need to have a device. Okay? That device can connect to what? Do I just directly connect to the internet? What do I need to connect to? No, this is a PC. Where does the PC need to connect to? Yeah, what does it need to connect to? Where does this xian go to? It needs to connect to what is this? Can you connect to the internet without a router? 可以吗？不可以。如果没有 router, 没有 Wi-Fi, 对不对? Right here we have a Wi-Fi there. So you must have a router. Okay? The PC is going to connect to那个 router. Why do I need to have a router? The router gives me the IPv4 because you're going to have many devices. Maybe you have 2个电脑, or maybe you also have a shoji, you have the Wi-Fi, you have a phone. Okay? you must have a router, or you can have switch. A switch also, 也行. You don't need to have necessarily a router. You have a router, a switch. Okay. After you have that, what do I need to connect to? Carol, what is this? What is this guy right here? What is this? This thing? We go into a wave. What device does that? What is his name? He's a modem. We need to have a modem to 变那个 Ardinger into a wave, so that he can go on the telephone line. He can go on the signal very, very far. Okay? Because we're going to access that. So the next thing is you have a modem. Because in here we have the Ardinger, you have the binary, and then we need to 编一个 wave. Agree or disagree? Right? And this usually is given to you by your ISP. Do you know what ISP stands for? This is the 公司 that gives you the 11. Okay, like China Mobile. This is called the Internet Service Provider. Okay? Carol, can you sit up straight? Thank you. Can you take off your coat? 谢谢. The ISP, you have to give the chat, and then usually you just rent the modem. Okay? Now, this is the internet. This is the internet. Internet. What is the internet made of? There, Carol. Inside this bubble, what is the internet? When I go onto Baidu, or I go to TikTok, or Taobao, where does he go? And what is he? What is the name of those things? On the internet, we have a 很大的电脑, right? What is this big computer called? On the internet, all the web page, all the 电影, 它们放在什么地方? Do you know this thing? We have a big computer, like this. You have a whole bunch of computers like this, right? Do you know? Oh, yeah. If you feel, you can take off your coat if you're tired. This is called a server. Okay. So if you get data from the internet, it's on a server. Okay. We call it a web server. And so then the data, if I go to Taobao or what have you, it's going to access it, and then it'll send to my IP device. So basically that's how it works. You need to understand the router, modem, and the server. In the server, there's another thing, it's called the DNS. Okay? And we're going to watch a video that will explain that. Cool? Do you have this big picture? That's the idea about how the internet works. Let me know, and then I will go to. We're gonna watch a quick video later. Okay, just a couple notes. You know, the router. Other thing is he can give the Wi-Fi name. The Wi-Fi name. Do you know when you can the Wi-Fi? 有很多的名字, right? The Wi-Fi name is called the SSID. SSID means Service Set Identifier. Okay? Also, router gives you the DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. That's the IP feature. Okay? So the router is 很重要. Okay? So, here we go. Now, on the internet, when your data goes to the internet, your data is cut into pieces. Okay? A piece of data on the internet is called a package. Package. Okay? And so the thing that you need to know is your data uses packages, okay? And it is, each package is 512 bytes, okay? And so when you're watching the movie, 它需要切 all the information into different sizes. And then each is going to go a different way to the other DNL. And then it will put it back together. Okay? So your package has 三个东西。一个 package, okay, is 3块. Okay? I need you to draw there. The very first part is called header. 有那个头 header. Okay? Then in the 中间 is your data. The 中间 is your data. This is called payload. Payload. This is the 东西 that they're sending, the information. And the last thing is called the trailer. Okay? So you have to understand that we have 三块 1, 2, 3. In the header, we have the IP digit, okay, and the sequence of packages, okay. The header, we have the transmitted address, IP, and we have the receiver's IP, okay. And then we have the sequence. The sequence is like ER sent is how the data is sent. Okay? 有三个东西. The third thing is the sequence. For example, ER sent, this is the sequence that the data is sent. And then in the trailer, we would have the number of packets. There we go. So this right here, just make sure you have a quick little picture about how equal the data is sent on the internet. We have 三块. Carol, what is the first piece of the internet package? What is it called? What is the 第一块叫什么? Yes, the header. What are 三个东西 inside the header?
TX.
Well, yeah, what does TX mean? TX means to 送给 to transmit. R 是接的，一个是送的，一个是接的。Okay, one is the transmit IP, the other one is receiver IP. And then sequence is how the data is sent. And so basically what happens is from your modem, 它剪得很多块 and then he go different way. He goes different way and arrive different time. And then he puts it back in the same order that he sent it. Okay? So, you just like sleeping. Yuna, can you?
What is off and PAC?
Packet. Packet 是 This is called a packet. When you 送快递, you give it into a package. And then what happens is, each package has different piece. You have the front piece of data as the IP digit. That means where I'm my digit, and then the 送的 digit, right? And then is the sequence of all the pieces inside the package. When he goes, the internet's like 这样子 all the different packages go different routes. And then at the end, he comes and he will put them together, and then we can read it. Okay? So right here, each packet, this is called packet switching. 它的名字是 packet switching means we have different package. Some will use telephone, some use the Wi-Fi, some will use the 线，不一样的。Because the internet 有很多的 data， 有一个路是满了 ，if the road is 满了 he will 选一个不一样的路 ，right? He will use a different road, and then until he goes. Okay, so you have the TX DJ, and this is the Sonde RX. DJ. Cool. How many? Tell me the three things inside a packet there. Okay. Oh, here we go. Carol, can you come? 你需要起来. Here's the culture question. Yuna, can you read it? And then Carol will go up and write her answer. You can bring your notebook. Okay. Here you go. Simon, go. Yes, read it out.
They have packets are transmitted across a network from one computer to another. Describe the structure of a data packet.
Okay, you need to tell me the 三块. What are the 三块? The 三份. You have a header. You need to click if you want. So you have this in your notes. Okay. The header, that data you'll get means it. It's called payload. 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 Payload.
P-A-L.
Payload.
P-A-L.
P-A-Y.
Oh.
L-O-A-D, payload. And then, and the last thing is called?
Trailer.
Trailer. Good, 谢谢. Let's see, is she right there, Yuna? 对还是不对? Let's have a look. A packer is split into 3 pieces, header, payload, trailer. 对的. Okay, Yuna, it's your turn. The packet is 简. Packet switching is used to transmit data across network. Identify a device that controls the path. What is the thing that your Dino have to connect? What hardware? That gives you the IP DJ. Okay, you write E. Look at the hardware type. Okay. Where's our hardware? Modem. We have the different hardware. 哪里? Where's the hardware? 我们写的那个 the hardware of the internet. Modem, switch, router.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, 你选一个. What is the 硬件 on the internet that's used to choose where the data go? Other thing for switch, what do we call? You can use switch or yes, router. Okay, 你写. TET. Are you feeling better now? So these questions, I just take it from the past. Yes, right. Okay, Carol, last question. Serial data is used to transmit data package across the network. Tell me, what is serial data? Show me this from last class. Serial. One bit at one time. 对不对? Explain 为什么 we use serial transmission instead of parallel. Look back in your notes. Why 为什么 internet uses one line to send the data? Why don't we use 多的 line? What is some problem? 你记得吗? What is some problem about the data? Yes. Explain why serial data is used. Serial does not have crosstalk. Okay. What other reason? Do you know what serial data is there, Yuna? What is this called when the data doesn't arrive at the 一样的时间? Do you know what that's called? Yes. Serial does not have skew. 对不对? I need how many? Mark, I'm missing one. So I need to tell why. Yes. Serial is cheap, 不是贵. Serial uses one wire. So is cheaper. 对不对? You need to get 三个trading. You need to get 三个 trading. Let's see if we're right. Network may spread over long distance. It's reliable. It's in sequence. It has skew. 我们trend skew. Crosstalk. 我们用 crosstalk. It is also pretty fast. Yeah. Okay. We're going to. Do you guys need to 休息5分钟? Please go for a little walk so that you get the blood going. Okay. So we're halfway there. I'm going to pause and then 喝水上个厕所 and then come back 5分钟. Start recording. Okay. Yes. Yes. So TCP IP is called a protocol. What does IP stand for? What does IP stand for? There, Yuna? What is, you know how for many years, in grade 9, grade 10, I always say IP teacher. What does IP stand for? Internet? 多少? Yeah, internet what? Protocol. What is a protocol? Protocol is basically a rule. So, I don't know how to say rule. In Chinese, you have rules. 规则? I don't know. What do you call it? A rule means it's a procedure of the rule how the data move. 对不对? And so you have 两个 protocol. One is called TCP, Transmission Control Protocol. It breaks the information into the parts. 对不对? We have the header, trailer, in 512 bytes of information. It reassembles the data at the end, and it detects any toll. We also did the internet about the parity bit. Do you remember there, Carol, about parity bit? The IP digger, its job is to route the thing to the correct digger, to the correct device. Okay? Now, in IG level, you need to know there's 两个 IP digger. There's an old IP digger. It's called IP version 4. And this is an older one, but we still use it today. Okay? It looks like this. IPv4 is 32 bits. Can you just write this down? It's 32 bits. For example, you can have 255. This is the maximum number. 255, 255, 255. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. 255. 255. Okay? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait, this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. You have 4 blocks. You can have any number between 0 and 255. And it has the dot. Okay? And so to figure out how many computers can use that, it's 2 to the power 32. This is the total number of computers that can be on a network using IPv4. It's a big number. If you put 2 to 32 is that, right? But how many people are on Earth? We have over 1 billion people, 对不对? And 这个不够. And so we have a new protocol. It's called IPv6. What you have to know, IP version 6 is new, 新的. Not all, we don't use it too much right now, but when you're older, they're going to be used more and more. What is it? It is bigger. It has how many bits? 128. 128 bit. And it's 有点不一样. Look, it has hexadecimal number. It has hexadecimal number, okay? And it uses the mahal. It uses the colon, okay? So it has many more. You can have more devices. And it uses hex. What it looks like, an example of IPv4 is 81.101. Okay, it uses denary. This uses denary, right? This uses hex. And you have groups of 4 with the colon. Okay, for example, you have 68 E6, and then it has colon, the next one, 7C48. Okay? It has groups of 4 hex numbers. And how many blocks do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have baga blocks with colon. Colon. Okay, this is the mahal. Okay, what you need to remember is we have 2. One is version 4. It's 32 bits. It is an older version. It can do a lot, but right now I have a phone. I have a computer. There's over 1 billion people, and the more and more people use the internet, we need to have an IPv4 for everyone. And so we're running out of the digit, and so we have IPv6. Okay? You want to see? For these, it uses hex numbers in there. Now, we already do this. The IP, the MAC digit. Okay. The MAC digit is what it is used for is to identify the hardware of the computer, and it's given by the manufacturer. Okay? So the answer to this one is given by the manufacturer, and it's on the NIC card. Okay, we'll skip that. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna skip that. This is for your homework. Okay, now on the internet, when you go www, and I go to, give me a website. Maybe like Taobao. Taobao, oh, how to spell Taobao? B-A-A-O? I have a question. Can the internet understand Taobao? No. What the internet has to do is he have to convert this into an IP digit. For example, we have what happens is each domain name, we call this domain name. You can only have one domain name for each web page. If I have Taobao.com, can I make 2 Taobao.com? Okay. You can only have each agent for each 东西. Okay? And so you can pay money, and 你可以自己买一个网站. You can buy your own domain. I have also bought my own domain. It's called newsonselectronics.ca. Okay? And so this right here is the domain name. When you type this into your computer, the computer is going to have to convert this into a IP digit. the rule of that, who does that, is called the DNS. Okay? This is called domain name server. And what the domain name server is, it just 点它的名字 into Deezer. Then it has a lookup table, and he will find your web page, and then he will give the request back to your computer. Okay? This is called a URL when you type it in, www.taobao.com or what have you. I will show you a couple pictures about what it is. Okay. What you need to know, you have www. This is the host. Okay? ABC is the domain name. Domain name of the place. CO is company. UK is the country. You can have .cn is Zhengguo, right? .ca is Canada. Okay? And right here is slash. This is the wenjinjia. This is a folder. And then inside here, this is the image. You can find image on the internet. You can find whatever on there. Okay. So when you go www, it usually has a protocol. Then it has a name of your website. Okay, it's a domain name. Then you can have a company. Then it's country. Then it's a wenjinjia or folder, and then you have that. Okay, this is a basic internet when you type. Am I talking too fast? Domain name. That's like, for example, the domain name is Google. Google is domain name. Only one Google. We also have Apple, 苹果, right? Apple, www.apple.com. Okay? Com is like worldwide, but sometimes they have .cn. It just means that server, that DNL, when you connect, there's servers in China, there's servers in the UK, you can actually talk to them. Okay? So you can have different domain names. Yeah. Now, domain names. Okay, we have top level domain names. That's basically the .com or UK. Okay, so this is like your local domain name, and then you have your country domain name. Okay, domain name is the extension. We're gonna watch a quick look. We're gonna watch a TikTok explain how the internet works. Let's just zoom in here. Do you guys ever watch TikTok? It's Ethan John to explain how he 变那个 name into
The domain name system, DNS, is the internet's font book that converts domain names into IP addresses. When you type a website name, such as www.google.com, your system can't connect to it without an IP address. DNS performs this conversion. How does it work? Let's understand it one by one. When you type a URL in your browser, a DNS query is initiated. The query first goes to a recursive resolver, located at your ISP or a public DNS server like Google DNS 8.8.8. If the resolver doesn't have an answer, the query goes to a root server that provides the location of the top-level domain, also known as a TLD. For example, an extra TLD server provides the address of the domain name's authoritative name server. The authoritative name server returns the IP address of the actual domain. Finally, the resolver brings the IP address to the browser, and the website opens.
Okay, so basically, this is the conclusion about the internet. How does the internet work? Remember that big bubble? That big bubble is a big question mark, right? How do you find it? You have these computers, right? This is a server. 但是 有很多很多的 server. How do I know which server to find my web page on? We need to have a worker. So from your modem, you have your modem. It goes to the AC signal. It goes to a DNS. What does DNS stand for there, Yuna? What is DNS server? What does DNS stand for? What does DNS stand for? Read it. Because when I go www.taobao or whatever I have, does my computer know where Taobao is? 它不知道. Because the DNS is he must convert him to a IP digit. Okay? Each address, we have this thing called a lookup table. Lookup table. Okay? And we have a list of a whole bunch of internet websites. We have Google, and then we have Taobao, Baidu, and then in here you also have an IP digit. Each one has its unique IP digit. And so what happens is you give a request to the DNS. He's going to look. Have you already looked at him? Do you have a catch? If you go to a thing, he already saved them on your web browser. But if you don't have, he's going to talk to other guy and say, do you have the IP digit of Taobao? If he says yes, he will give him the IP address. And then I'm going to return this, and then I can get the data. If not, I go to the next, and I go to the next server. And that's why when you first go to a website, 它有点慢 to 打开. But if you go to the same website again, 它不是慢，因为 he already 保存 his the DNS already gave him the IP digit, so it's 快一点. But if it's the very first time, 它有点慢. Okay, so that's the idea. You have your web browser. He talked to DNS. He convert your URL, 它的名字 into a IP digit. And say 有没有这个 IP digit? And then he's going to look who has the IP digit that is 一模一样 to my domain name. Because this domain name, 他听不懂, he only understands the digit. And then if he finds it, he's going to give it back to my web page. Okay, so this is how he goes. 第一步 URL 送给 DNS. DNS says, do I have? 如果他有, 他放回去. 如果 he don't have, he needs to talk to 别的 DNS and say, do you have? And so on and so forth. And then it will come back to that. So that's the big picture about how the internet works. Your schoolwork. Okay, I'm gonna minimize this. What your job is on your own computer, 3.4. Today, again, is the last question. Is, you know how we did those questions on the PPT? I have copy paste here where you can try and you write that. Describe what is the data packet. What is the MAC address? What is the difference between IPv4, IPv6? These are all the things that were in the PPT. You can also double check. What is URL? And what is the DNS? Okay, so these are the questions right here. It's under 3.4 schoolwork. Okay, and this will be our last schoolwork for the holiday. Okay, and this will be due whenever you're done. Okay, any questions about how the internet works? I'm going to ask you a couple questions. What device talks to the DNS? Router or modem? What do you think there, Yuna? You know the link all the way from your computer to the internet. Who talks to DNS? Your router or your modem? Yes. Because from your router, it talk to a modem. From modem, it go onto internet. On the internet, we talk to DNS. Carol, what is the job of DNS? What does the DNS do? What is the 工作 of DNS? Do we have printed notes? Domain name survey. Did you not copy it down? You were drawing so beautiful picture. DNS. What is URL there? What is URL? Tell me what is URL. And what does he do? So what does DNS do? What is the 工作 of a DNS? What does the DNS do? Do you remember this toolpan? He 编那个 URL into a digit, 对不对? From the digit, the DNS have to look. He had to look up for him. When he finds the domain name that matches the IP digit, he will songe back to the web page. Okay? So you need to understand DNS is like 工作人在网络 on the internet. It's like a device that will look for your 网站. When he find him, he will get it. But if 如果他没有, I have to talk to other, because we have the internet 是非常非常大. And so sometimes a domain name setter 他不知道这个网站, he has to talk to other guy. And another guy until he finds it, and then the request comes back. Okay? So I want you to 打开 your computer, and I want you guys to Fujit 3.4. I want you to copy. It has some question there, and I want you to put this into your 作业文件夹. Okay? Can you do that? Copy that, and then you work on those questions.